Hello everyone and welcome to Questline. This is going to be one of those conversations people don't usually enjoy having, but probably need to. This episode started in a very ordinary way. Over the weekend I was watching SmugAlana reacting to a Sydney Watson, who was reacting to a blunt, no-nonsense financial YouTuber. What caught my attention wasn't the outrage, it was the reaction, the anger, the discomfort. People wasn't arguing with the mathematics, they were reacting emotionally. So this isn't a response video, it is a reflection. And out of respect, you'll find the links to both the creators in the description below. Credit matters after all, want to give them credit where it's due. And with that said, back to the video. The discomfort. Let me start with something uncomfortable. Saving money is simple. What is hard is living in a world designed to make restraint feel like failure. And if that sentence already irritates you, that irritation matters. Not because you're wrong, but because it tells us something important about money and about ourselves. What money was supposed to be. Money was never meant to be a moral scoreboard. It wasn't meant to measure worth. It wasn't meant to decide who matters. Money began as a tool, a measuring tool. It allowed people to agree on value without power, imitation, or chaos. 1 apple equals this. 1 hour equals that. Money created coordination, not hierarchy, predictability, not pressure. What money was meant to give to ordinary people? At its healthiest, money gives people choice. Not endless choice, but meaningful choice. Food over luxury, stability over impulse, planning over panic. Money was meant to give people room to decide, not a constant demand to react. When money became emotional, something changed. Money stopped being a neutral measure. It became power. Power persuades. Power shapes narratives. Power bends systems. And when money became power, value detached from usefulness and attached itself to image. Money stopped being about what helps and became about what it signals. Why saving feels so hard? Let's be honest, saving isn't difficult because of maths. £1 a day proves that. Saving is difficult because it forces people to sit with restraint, contentment, and delayed gratification. In a culture that worships immediacy, restraint feels like exile. Not spending doesn't feel neutral, it feels like stepping outside from the tribe. So who's the one that benefits from this? This is not a conspiracy, it is an incentive structure. Systems that profit from impulse have no urgency to teach restraint. When people don't plan, spending becomes predictable, debt becomes permanent, blame stays personal, ignorance becomes profitable. Why blunt financial truth triggers anger? People don't get angry at numbers, they get angry at mirrors. Blunt truth says, this didn't just happen to you, you participated. That threatens identity, not intelligence. So instead of changing behavior, the instinct is to destroy the mirror, discredit the messenger, protect the self-image. The failure of don't judge spending. Don't judge people spending sounds compassionate, but compassion without guidance becomes avoidance. It removes shame, and with it, feedback. Adults are treated like fragile children. Pain is numbed, lessons are skipped, consequences arrive later. That isn't kindness, that is abandonment. Ego, identity, and consumption. This isn't new. Humans have always tried to make internal worth visible through external symbols. Historical examples like gold, land, titles, and palaces. What changed is scale. Power display went from rare to constant. Consumption became the language of identity, and spending was sold as empowerment, when real power is the ability to say no. What this has done to society: the goalposts keep moving. Status is no longer something you reach, it is something you chase. Trust erodes, resentment grows, cooperations fracture. A system that must expand endlessly will eventually collapse inward on itself. The change I would make. Here is my position. Money needs hard floors and hard ceilings. A guaranteed baseline: food, shelter, energy, dignity. No one panics, just to exist. And a clear upper limit: comfort, stability, not domination. Past that point, wealth becomes stewardship, not accumulation. Ambition remains, but excess loses its power. Stewardship. Some people will hate this, but that's fine. Truth isn't measured by applause. I'm not saying this to be provocative. I'm saying it because someone has to say it. The most dangerous person in this system isn't the poor. It is the person who can calmly say no. That's the power worth protecting. Well, that's it for today. Thank you very much for listening. If this resonates with you, leave a like. If you want more conversations like this, subscribe. If you've got thoughts, disagreements, or suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. Until the next time, stay strong, stay curious, and keep forging your questline. Wishing you all well and good health. Take care. And cut, that's a wrap. Woo!